Guys and dolls, welcome to another show. This is a great time to be here from wherever you are joining us. It is my birthday today. I'm very excited. I'm very happy. We have a packed show for today. So just make sure that you go and tell your friends about it, that we are up and running. My name is Bishop Q. This is Global Talk with Bishop Q. My voice is a little bit husky. I'll tell you all about it or that. What happened for my voice to be husky? I don't have corona. I don't have corona. It just happens. So let us just start the way that we normally start. It's a Monday. Today is the 28th of June. It's my birthday today. So I would love to start the show with a prayer. So let us just close our eyes and pray. Jehovah ya lokileng ya matla ohle. Kreste mama lady a sa hloleng ke letho re a rapela ke ena mosebetsi wa hao konyana. Here's your show. It's about to start. Father God, we ask that allow your children to connect from all over the world. Whatever you're going to be speaking about, the interviews, all the best wishes that have been coming through. Father God, we ask that you should continue blessing those kids back. Father God, for as long if those wishes are coming from the bottom of their hearts, we thank for everyone that has been sending messages from all over the country. Please continue blessing them. Please continue showing your face upon their lives and families. We thank you for everything that you have done for us, God, that you have added another day, you have added another hour, you have added another year. Yes, we are growing up, but surely we are making a difference. We are happy about it, and we are glad that we know that you are God, and we serve without you, we are nothing. We thank you, Lord, as we're about to start the show in Jesus' name. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined us, this is Bishop Q. We're having a wonderful show today. I can tell you today is going to be one of our best. We'll also be hoping to doing interviews as well during the show. We just have to make sure that we get all the people that we've invited to come sit with us, talk to us, tell us who they are, where they are coming from, and everything. But it is a wonderful day. It is a great day. Those who speak well, they normally say, "This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made for us to be happy and rejoice." I feel so fun speaking with this voice. But in any case, over the weekend, I was bearing one of my senior members at my church. Like I was talking about it the other day, that I have a senior member who just passed on. So sadly, due to sickness, people just pass on. And it was a little bit sad for me because she was the pillar of my church. We normally have people that you look upon. When you build a structure that is very similar to a God's place, you need a type of person that would take and use him as a pedestal to say, if Bonka Bazalwane, they could learn a thing or two about her, then you know that you are on a roll. But sadly, she passed on. And I was even explaining to other Bazalwane and saying that from where I'm at, I feel as if somebody has stolen one of my instruments that I was using. And it's a little bit hard for me to say, life goes on, we can continue. We are talking about somebody who had a very powerful impact. She knew God and she was loving and caring and so forth. But those who speak well, they say she's probably in a better place where she is. We hope and believe that. So that has been my weekend. And also there was a young girl who was doing her initiation over this weekend. So I also had to make sure that I go there. So as somebody who sings, I had to make sure that I sing, So hence my voice sounds so husky and scrappy. But people are writing Kibabo Livoka from Krugersdorp. She says she loves my voice. I just hate my voice speaking like this. Today we have a wonderful show lined up for you. I wanted to talk about myself, but I feel that I won't be doing justice speaking about myself. So I have a gentleman that I've met. I'm gonna try and get hold of him so that he tells us. He has been involved in a taxi accident, in a car accident actually. He has tried to commit suicide 3 times and he was never successful. So it's one of those things. So in the meanwhile, just bear with me. Just make sure that you continue telling your friends that Bishop Q is up and running. I'm here. If you've just joined us, continue writing your message down there near on our comment line and continue greeting us. You can write to us on murutiq@gmail.com. You can write on Twitter. It's Bishop Q19. On Facebook, you'll find us there as well. We are trying to connect with this gentleman. He has a very interesting story that he needs to tell us. And there is so much that we can learn out of this guy. So just tune in and make sure that you are there with us. And if you've just joined us, continue writing your messages. And I actually expect you to write also my happy birthday messages. Today we are supposed to be going to Alexander, but we could not go to Alexander because of we knew that the president was gonna take a swing at us. So fortunately, we won't be going to Alexander anytime soon until we are sorted, until we know what's happening. So for now, it means we are locked in. We're gonna be sitting here. We're gonna be having a good time. So I'm gonna try and connect to this guy so that he tells us his story. I saw his tweet and I loved him there and there, and he was there. So close I'm a connect with him and see that if I can be able to get hold of him. He writes in his website and he says, I love the things that he wrote on his, he says he's not wearing the same kind of socks, not because he cannot find another socks, but he believes in that it's okay not to wear the same type of socks. He says he's not handicapped, but he just enjoys traveling around with his wheelchair. I wanted to intrigue him and find what's up with this man. Why is he writing all of that? And he was telling me that he was involved on an accident, on a car accident, and she got injured from top until below. So I'm trying to get hold of him so that I want him to tell us his story. Where does he come from? For those who have worked with me before, for those who've been following my work, you know that I've been working with children, especially handicapped children. So anything that has to do with handicapped children, I love it. I admire it. So probably maybe that's why I'm following up on the story. I'm following up on this gentleman, that he needs to talk to us. He needs to tell us what happened to him. So if you've just joined us, just make sure that you tell a friend. This is Bishop Q on Global Talk. We are having lunchtime. I'm trying to get hold of this gentleman, so just bear with me. Okay, let me just text him because he's not replying here. His name is Vosi. He's a 36. We are ready for you, Vusi. Just check the link that I've sent you. Just it's my birthday today. Yes, of course, it is my birthday. So if you just joined us, just make sure that you continue writing your birthday messages. My name is Bishop Q. Let us see if you can find this man. But in the meantime, thank you for all the messages that have been coming through. People are talking to us from all over the country. They're sending their birthday messages. We thank you very much. Today it's a little bit different for me in a sense that there are a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about child trafficking because today it has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me. Yes, I agree. It could be my birthday. Probably I could be celebrating another year. Ausnonki from Bloemfontein, Mewaka, thank you very much. She's asking how old am I? I'm 46 years of age. Somebody was saying, Kipala in a taxi the other day. I met a very young girl in a taxi and she was asking me, how old am I? I told him that I'm approaching 50. He says, he could not believe it. He says, well, it happens if you're taking care of yourself and you continue praying and believing that God is there. God is supposed to be directing you and holding your hand. So in everything that you do, you make sure that you pray. Maybe that's why I love a verse that says in Proverbs 3 verse 5, it says, Kasisutu, nkenye misebetsing ya hao yohle, oska ba tshepela bohlale ba hao. Ithi ngesizulu ngifake kuyo yonke imisebenzi yakho ungathembi kokwakho ukuhlakanipha. They say include God in everything that you do and you will see that He will never light your way. So if you've just joined us and I'm busy receiving all my birthday messages. Today it's all about my birthday. Ever since I wake up in the morning, I've been getting messages from all over the country. People are sending messages and well wishes, and especially the kids that I'm working with in Bloemfontein. They've sent messages. Bloemfontein. I've also received a special card from Vryburg. There is a school, a handicapped school that I'm working with, because at average, if I'm correct, we have adopted almost 16 orphanages around the country. So just make sure that whenever you want to work with us, you want to be part of us, you want to work with Global Talk, you want to work with Bishop Q, you want to work with Kids Alive, just make sure that you connect with us and you talk to us, and we'll line you up. And we have so many work that needs to be done around the country. Even now, we are recently even getting a lot of messages about child trafficking, and I think we'll be tackling that starting from next week. Last week we did a show that was talking about a number of things, including how to take care of yourself, especially when it comes to mental illness. And we prepared something, me and Fifi, as she's my line producer, but only to find out that as we continue talking, we found out that there's so much that we need to talk about when we get to a point of saying, what is mental illness? So Z spoke to us very deeply, and she's very passionate, and we love her so much. And we're hoping that she will also grant us another opportunity, another time that we are able to speak to her and be able to take it through and say, what is it that we need to look for? Because chances are that I'm sick and you are also sick as well. But mental illness is something that we normally take it very light, and we are not sure what normally happens. So those are some of the things that we're talking about last week. I'm struggling to get hold of this man, Vusi. We're going to call him and see if he responds. People are busy phoning me. People are busy sending messages, and they know that I'm live and we cannot be chatting about anything else. Let us see if we can get Vusi. It is a Monday. It is Global Talk with Bishop Q. The joy of having a birthday. Ever since in the morning, I haven't done anything. I've just been responding to all the messages of birthdays. And even now, they're still coming thick and strong. While we are still waiting for Vusi to come back to us, we hope that we'll connect, because I just wanted to talk to this man so that he tells us about what's eating him, what's troubling him. Let me just check on his page here. He says, I am not disabled. I just really like wheelchairs. So he has written a big, huge status there to say he's not disabled, but he just loves wheelchairs. And he writes and says, one day I shall wear matching socks again, but it is not this day. So I was intrigued by this Twitter, and I started following up on this guy. And when I spoke to him, he sent me a very short message telling me about who he is, where does he come from, and so forth. But I just wanted to intrigue him and get more details. And he says, and the message that I've sent, he says, I'm Vusi, I'm a 36-year-old. 4 years ago, I was involved in a car accident that left me paralyzed from waist down. I'm a complete paraplegic who the doctors have zero chance of recovery. That's my point of interest, where the doctors are confirming. I've been through depression. I've survived about 3 suicide attempts, and I'm in a relationship, and we have 2 boys. Wow. My partner, who was driving when we got the accident, she's my biggest support structure. The issue of relationships that we normally talk about, that sometimes it's also very important to get a partner who understands, who's there to support you, and understands your dream and your vision. Lastly, he says, I really don't have much to say, but this is who I am. His name is Vusi. Now, there are a couple of things that were interesting for me. Hence, I wanted to talk to this man. He says 4 years ago he got involved in a car accident, and he got injured from top to waist. Now, to me, question number one, we will talk to him the sooner he joins us. But one thing that went straight to my head, I'm saying, this guy, he's old. He's 36, meaning for 36 years, he has been living a normal life. And out of the blue, you get an accident. Now your life has to change. How do you start adopting towards a new life? How do you start adopting towards a new way of doing things? You used to walk, you can't walk. You used to run, you can't run. Now you're sitting on a wheelchair. Now you're asking for help from everybody. People have to pick you up from one point to another. For me, that was very intriguing to say, how do you accept that? How do you acknowledge and say, now I'm sick? It actually left me with a question to say, it reminded me of my sickness as well, that I'm also sick as well. For those who have been joining the show for a while, they know that I'm a diabetic. And I only found out some few years ago. And being diabetic is not an easy thing. Living with diabetes is not an easy thing, because it simply means when you are diabetic, everything has to change. From the food that you eat, you have to change. From the way you do things, you have to change. You know, if you are not used to go to the gym, now you are supposed to go to the gym. The type of food that you eat. I recently went to a doctor for my checkup, and while I was speaking to the doctor started mentioning things things that I'm not supposed to be eating. And I'm not sure where does the doctor take this mentality just to go through the things that I'm not supposed to be eating. And he started counting everything that is on my favorite list. One, he spoke about putu. I was like, this guy is joking. Two, kota. Forget it, doctor. Cakes, pasta. I think I'm going to have a show sometime next week where we will be talking about diabetes and the things that you need to look after. What are the changes that you might do? But now, for me, the difficulty is that for all these years, I've been eating whatever that I've been wanting to eat. And all of a sudden, boom, in your face, I'm now diabetic. I now have to gym. I have to look at myself. You know, the way you sleep, you start sweating and so forth. There are a lot of changes that you need to accept whenever you tell people that you're diabetic. I mean, even to an extent of having a girlfriend. The minute you start talking to other people and mentioning that I'm diabetic, they are quick to think of any other thing that they want to think of. I remember even the other day, somebody was even trying to put a link between my 2 divorces and me having a diabetes. And people are saying, you divorced twice and you're already diabetic. Isn't it the diabetic the reason why you got divorced? You are mixing 2 issues that don't mix. My 2 beautiful wives, they were there while I was sick and everything. They took care of me and nothing was wrong. Now, today we're going through the story of Vosi, and it's telling us that things had to change. Now, imagine doctors telling you that you cannot walk. Just out of the plane, they're telling you that, look, you can't walk. You are what you are. We are finished. We are done with you. How do you start living that new life, that new way of doing things? It becomes very difficult. I wanted to understand his position to say, how do you accept and acknowledge that you are now sick? Now you have a new sickness, you have a new way of doing things. Things have changed. How do you move? How do you accept? This man left a bitter taste in my mouth. And I kept on asking, looking at his photo, and he says, I am not disabled. I just really like wheelchairs. To me, it showed an angle of acceptance. And I wanted to know, when was the turning point? When did he turn a point and start acknowledging that this is who I am? This is what I am. There's nothing I can do about it. Life goes on. We're going to continue trying to get hold of him because I want to ask him these questions as well. Because for me, it leaves a lot of questions. Maybe it's because I don't read, but I analyze. So when I saw that post that says, I am not disabled, to me it was very interesting. And you are saying that the lady that she's involved with, she was the one who was driving. So there is also the issue of guilt that I wanted to question about the lady, to say, doesn't she feel guilty? I mean, how would you feel if we were traveling together? I was the one who was driving and we get to an accident. And when we get to an accident, you are the one who gets injured and I survive. How do I accept? How do I acknowledge and say, let us move on? Those are some of the things that I wanted to understand from him. And it actually even questions the type of woman that we normally fall in love with, because this today, a lot of women have their own demands. Everybody's demanding their own thing. We have seen stories that people are demanding cars, and they will be able just to put pressure on you, quite frankly, and say, indoda engadrive angiyifuni, indoda engangenanga isikolo angiyifuni, indoda engenandlu angiyifuni. And we were talking with gentlemen, and I'm asking him, saying, if ufuna indoda enemoto, wena iphi imoto yakho? If you want a man with a house, where's your house? Because from where I'm standing or the way I've been doing sessions for counseling, I believe that you also need to bring something to the table. It's a party. So it means you need to bring something to the party. You don't just come and demand. Yes, I know that I'm supposed to take care of you as my wife, as my woman, as my better half. But the question is that when I no longer have the power, the strength, the ability to take care of you, what do? Are you going to walk and look for another man who's going to be able to take care of you? Or are you going to be able to stay and say, it is fine. I'm going to stay with you. Come rain, come shine. You might not have 1, 2, and 3, 4. I'm going to look for you. Those are the kind of women that we are looking for. And we are finding none. I think one day I'm going to have a discussion with women. They need to tell me what is it that they want from a man. Maybe there is something that we can learn. I remember a friend of mine was also talking about the relationship game, that it has changed. That before there was an era where you'd get a woman and they would give you 90 days. If you remember, there was a thing that was called 90 days of, I don't know, Steve Harvey did it. I was speaking to him in the morning. He did that show that says you need to give a man 90 days. 90 days meaning 3 months. Meaning during that 3 months, you are not going to sleep with them, nothing serious. We are just going through that relationship. But now we are told that the dating game has changed. People want to start in the bedroom first so that they understand who you are, where you're coming from. Then from there, then they can move and start having a relationship. So those are some of the things that we start questioning and say, there is a game change. And how does it affect us? How does it affect us? How am I supposed to be looking when I come to a woman? What are the things that I need to expect? When we grew up, women used to look for nice shoes. It was a shoe, it was a belt, and it was a sense of smell. But I'm told today things have changed. So I think I'm going to have a show one day where we'll be talking to women and they will be telling us what are the things that you look for in a man. When you say, yes, I'm going to go into a relationship, what are the things that you're looking for? One more time, we're going to try and get hold of this man. Unless probably can't connect, but you should have communicated with us that he can't connect and probably is having a problem with connection, because network has been a problem ever since in the morning. We've been having a problem with that. So we're gonna try and get hold of Vusi so that I'm very keen to know his story. So we're gonna try and call him. Right. Let us see if we can get hold of Vusi. Unless he's busy, he
Hi, this is Lucy. I'm going to call right now. Just leave your name and number, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Please leave your message after the tone.
Mavasana, this is Bishop Q. We're supposed to be having an interview. We are live, and I can't get hold of you. The sooner you get this message, just make sure that you come back to us. Thank you very much. Okay, Vusi seems not to be answering. We will be going through messages that we have received until today, the questions that the people have. Today we are not going to do any sermon. It is my birthday. I'm just happy I'm just excited about it. And there is a Tswana song that says, "Obale masego a gago, you should count your blessings." It's an old song that my mother used to teach me while um, we were still going to the same church. She's currently attending a church at UCCSA, that is United Congregational Church of Southern Africa. So there's a song that they normally sing there that says, "Obale masego a gago, count your blessings." So even me today, that's what we are going through. That's what I'm doing now, that I'm counting my blessings. I'm just being thankful for what God has done for me. Everything looks good. God is great. He's wonderful. There's no two ways about it. I'm quite glad until where I am today. Yesterday I was reading some of the messages, and we were talking about how the things that God has done for you. How wonderful it is that God has managed to grant you this opportunity to be where we are today. He has been there for you. He looked after you. There are times where he even fought for you in places that you never thought that you could survive at. But because he's God, he managed to look after you. One of the most interesting messages that I've received, it was from my son when he sent me a happy birthday. And until today, I am still very thankful that I have a son. Yes, there are those that follow after where, when you start by doing a mistake and you say, "I've got my son now, what do I do?" But one thing about Tolan was that I also did a show about him. You'll also find it in the shows that we have done in previous weeks. I did a show about him, about the relationship that I have between me and him as a father and a son. But one thing that I admire about his presence, or the way he came through to my life, you could look at it in two perspectives. One, you could say, yes, I was young. Yes, I was wrong by having a child at an early age. But yet, he came at a time where I needed to be put on hold. Because at that particular time, I was a madhouse. I was untouchable. I was going from one party to another. I was grooving. Life was fun. Girls, alcohol, drugs, you name all of those things. But I remember that when Xolani was born, I did not need to sit down with anybody so that we are able to analyze and say, "So, Baba, you are now a father. Now you need to be responsible." I took time, and I remember I took a cousin of mine, Andile. I hope one day he's gonna join me one day on this show and talk to him. He's quite crazy. We sat and we talked, and I went to see my son. And I remember I arrived and I had 3 friends that were that came along with me. When they brought my son, when I held him in my arms, I did not need anybody to tell me that it was a turning point for me. I had to turn my life. And I had just to acknowledge and say, I want to do good by this son. I want to do good by this child. I might not have too much. I might not have money. I might not have $1 million to give him. But I'm going to leave him a legacy. I'm going to leave him something that is going to last beyond even an ordinary day and so forth. So those things for me, they are very important. I went back home. I stopped drinking. I stopped smoking. I stopped doing drugs. I stopped staying outside and everything. I started putting my life together. I started getting a job, cleaning up, staying focused. That's when I started doing the work, started focusing, started writing books, started doing motivational talks, started traveling around just to make sure that I become a totally different person. So on my birthday, those are some of the things that I put up as a highlight, and being thankful to God that I am here where I am today, and I'm thankful for that. It was not because I was clever or anything, but God has made sure that I am what I am. Today I've written 7 books. If you could have asked me then, if you could have asked me at 21, that where was I going, I did not even know where I was going. But one thing for sure is that I strived, I pushed. Every single day it was important for me to make sure that I go out and make a difference. I go out and make a difference. I remember one of my first jobs that I did, I was working at KLTC, that is King Luthuli Transformation Center. In that place, it was a Saturday school. Now, we had kids who were coming from East Rand, West Rand, Vaal, Pretoria, and Joburg, and Soweto. And I remember that I was doing, okay, I don't know these great things, how do they go? You'll write on my chat there and remind me, I don't know. But I was standard in about form. So by then I was doing Form 4. We started attending school. I'm not sure what is Form 4 in terms of grades. Please write to me and tell me what are those grades. Or Swongile says grade 11. Thanks, Swongile. I was doing grade 11 so that people are able to understand. I was doing grade 11, attended the Saturday school. I attended, it was fine and okay. And immediately after that, as we continued, now one thing that was interesting about that school was that it did not have teachers, but it had tutors. So tutors, it would mean you'd get somebody who's almost my age teaching you. And I was intrigued by this, a group of young people who are running a Saturday school. And I did my matric. I failed my matric. But even though I failed, I decided to lie and went back to the school. I remember telling them that I've passed my matric. They asked for results. I told them that I don't have results. Now my results. I told them that the department is just, they've done a mistake about results and so forth. I went through the interview. I passed it very well. Then I went into the Saturday school. Now, the norm around the Saturday school was that as you come through as a teacher, most teachers, they fear the kids who do bigger grades, because some of them, they are almost your age, or some of them, they are even older. So it has been a norm or a culture that when people come through, you'll always start at standard 6 and say, no, I'll teach standard 6 and standard 7. I went through, I passed my interview. My first day at work, they introduced me to the entire staff. Now, I mean, in the previous year, I was on matric. Now, the following year, I'm now a tutor. I was now a tutor officially. And they asked me during a staff meeting, and they were asking me, Chief, what class are you going to do? We have held up some standard 6 classes. Do you want to go and teach there? I took a breath just a little bit and said, no, I'm not going to do standard 6. I'm not going to do standard 7. I'm not going to do 8. I want to do the last class, the matric. And everybody was shocked and amazed, because it has never happened where somebody just arrived as a tutor and they immediately go to the matric class and teach them. Now remember that by the time I was a tutor on Saturdays, during the course of the week, I was still redoing my matric. So for me, it worked out very nicely to say, while I was attending school during the week, on Saturday, I take whatever that I've learned and go and teach those kids that I meet on Saturday. And those kids, they will also bring whatever that they've learned in their schools, and would learn about them. So we'd interchange. So we'd talk about those things. And it was quite nice, because at the end of the year, I was able to have a much bigger choice in terms of the things that I wanted to do. I remember that we did Julius Caesar, we did Maru, we did a whole lot of books because remember that the kids in the East End, they were doing something different from those at the West and so forth. So by the time it's year end, when you have your news, I nearly said newspaper, when you have your exam paper, your range is much bigger. You have much bigger wide things that you can do and so forth. So I went and did my tutoring, and I was training matriculants, and I was teaching maths, I was teaching English, and there was a guy that we used to attend with. I wish I could tell you his story, the story of a relationship that I think I also wrote a book about him. You know, the relationships that we get into, people looking for material things. I think this still throws me back to this issue, Kavosi. I'm so sad that we can talk to him. Probably we'll get him tomorrow. There was a guy called Tulani who he was a teacher. So when I arrived at the study school, he was the one who acknowledged me and he was teaching me how to do things. One of the things that he also did for me, he gave me his class. He was teaching the English class in the morning, and his class had almost 40 students. And I remember it was Tulani. Tammy also gave him gave me their class. So I had two classes that I was training in the morning. English class, almost 80 young students coming from all over of Gauteng. I was teaching those students. Now, we were told that we are not supposed to be in a relationship with students because it was wrong. We understood it was okay. So, but Tulani was involved with this young lady, and they've been involved for many years. And specifically about this love story, one thing that I want to share with you very quickly was that few years later, specifically on this relationship thing, Tulani was involved with this woman. They've been dating for a while. Now, one day when I meet him, now Tulani looks like a hobo. He was walking around and he had almost 20 dogs that he was walking around with. And he's no longer clean. He's not clear in his head. He's talking things that did not make sense. I remember that I was passing by with a taxi. I got mad. I got angry. I started having questions. I went out of the taxi. I ran to him and started talking to him. Tulani, and he saw me and he could not even remember me. And while I was speaking to him, he kept on asking for 2 rands. You know how these people who don't take normally, how do they behave? And when he saw who I was, he started crying. He held me very close, and we went down and I started praying for him. And there was a car wash which was nearby. There were boys there in the car wash. I quickly rushed to the car wash because I knew that Tulani was coming from that area. I told those boys that if they're not going to tell me the truth, I'm going to beat the ish out of them. What happened with Tulani? Tulani grew up, he was clever, he was neat, he was brilliant, he loved people. You know, all the good things that you could count with Tulani and so forth. The boys at the car wash, they told me that, no, Puti, Tulani Grotmani to Sikura Swango, we grew up together with him. I said, but what happened? He says, no, apparently this lady got a new guy who had a car. And the lady just woke up in the morning and went to tell Tulani, who was already preparing to engage him, that Tulani, our relationship is finished. And the lady did not have any particular reasons. It's not like Tulani went out and cheated on him or did something wrong. But the lady just decided to drop Tulani with a bomb in that morning. They say, those who speak well, they say the effect was so bad on Tulani that he could not accept, he could not acknowledge that the lady that they've dated for almost 10 years just walked away for no particular reason. I can imagine all the sacrifices that Thulani did for this woman. And yet that woman at the end of the day was able to walk away. I'm told that Thulani, he stopped eating, he stopped sleeping, he stopped washing, and he started drinking on a daily basis. No, not even on a daily basis. He started drinking regularly. And when it was in the morning, when he had beer, he was drinking. In the afternoon, it was beer. And he kept on living that life until it got to a level that he ended up leaving home. And almost 10 kilometers away from home, there is a mountain not far away from where he stays. Those who know Dobsonville, they will tell you there is a place where we call Ntabem Shop. It's a white mountain. It's an old dumping place where mining things used to be dumped there. He started living there. And he took a number of dogs. He lived with dogs. He started taking those dogs as his friends. This guy, he was working. He stopped working. He stopped taking care of himself. He stopped washing. He stopped eating. Anything that was normal, he changed because of the decision of this woman. And while I was still at the car wash, I was in tears. I could not believe that Thulani has changed to be what he is. And God being God, I'm not sure why that hit, what happened. But I remember that while I was still at the car wash, the lady who used to date Thulani came up from the taxi. She was looking all beautiful and everything. She did not even have a problem. You could see Ulok. And she got off on a taxi, and I went to her and asked her, "Sorry, sis. Hi, how are you?" "Hi, Quentin." Was trying to greet me, but you could see that I'm no longer in that mood to talk to her. Sissy, the last time I saw you, we used to be together. I used to bring my girlfriend. Thulani used to bring you. You're in a good relationship together with Thulani. What happened? Nah, I'm some phone. But if I'm some phone, there should be a reason. There should be a reason why you dropping somebody just like that. Nah, bese ngikhathele mina, ngikhathele uThulani, ngithola abantu abangcono. And she was looking all beautiful and she started walking away. And as she was walking away, I was like, "Hi, Sissy. Okay. Let us admit, maybe Thulani is not the type of person that you wanted. Let us accept it. But the least that you could do, you are the only person that you can knock some sense into his head." I remember Zola's song that he was saying that in all the girls that you have dated, there could be only one woman who could speak sense to you and you listen. And I strongly believe that woman, Sepita, I forgot her name. I was gonna name and shame her. I was gonna name and shame her. You know that woman, okay, even though she wanted to leave and move on without Thulani because he got a guy who was now driving and whatever, but I believe that you could have talked to Thulani. You could have spoken to him. Surely could have made sense to him that Lalela Baba, stop what you are doing. She even refused to talk to Thulani. And as the story continues, we are told that I think a few months later, the boys who were staying in that area, because Thulani was now relying on drugs and alcohol, they sent him just across the street. "Thulani, go to that house and break in. And when you come back, we'll give you 2 beers." Thulani went into that house. When he got to that house, when he was trying to steal whatever that he was stealing, there were people there and they saw him. The father of that house was there, took a gun, shot Thulani. Thulani was killed and he died. The relationships that we get into. But in any case, so at KLTC we worked. It was my first job. And I just wanted to appreciate today I just wanted to appreciate all the way from KLTC where I started working, that I started admiring my work, started focusing, mainly because of the relationship that I have with my son. Things might have not gone my way in terms of being married and staying married and so forth, but God is still God. He's still good. He's still wonderful. I normally even say he's a colorful God, and because he's colorful, he has always been there for me. And today, I just wanted to acknowledge and say thank you for that. Thank you for thank you, God, for supporting me. Thanks for looking after me. Thanks for making sure that I live and see another day. Today, I inspire nations. I speak to nations through books, through my motivations. As I travel, my presence makes sure that I make an impact on another person. And I'm very grateful for that. Um, so Polani wrote also on the message and says, "You are my father, but you are more than just an ordinary father to me. You are the father of the nation." It humbled me. My own son calling me the father of the nation, meaning I'm now being put at the pedestal of Abraham, and I'm glad to take that responsibility, to be a father, to be your father, to be the father of the nation, to be a father to many young girls that I normally groom and guide on time to time basis. I'm glad to be a father to all the young boys that we normally meet and have breakfast with. I'm glad to be a father to my brothers that I live with, and they always take a guide from me. I might not always be correct. I might not always be wise, because, like we say on the Global Talk, I am also here to learn. So, meaning, I am this kind of a teacher that says, in my class, as much as I teach, but I also listen as well. And as I listen, I also take what you tell me and I take it in, and that's how I grow, and that's what makes me a slightly much better person, a slightly much better person. But I'm just wanted to be thankful to God for everything that He has done for me. I'm thankful to my children, all of them, from spiritual, biological. If I could start counting them, I won't stop. But I'm just thankful for the work that God has done with me. I am also thankful for the relationship that I have with God. It has grown day by day, week by week, month by month, and it has gone on, and I'm now at a very incredible level. Some of the things I'm able to understand them. Some of the things I'm able to swallow them. Some of the things I'm able just to accept them. The issue of death, I'm able to understand it. I now understand when God says no. One day I'm going to talk about when God says no. What does it mean? And how do you take that angle when God says to you, no, I'm phony? Because we normally ask things from God that we are not even ready for. And he says in the book of Corinthians, I am not going to give you what you want. And even the problems that you are going through, they are just only a niche of what you are going through. Because I know what you can carry. I know what you are capable of. And I know how far you can go. I'm just grateful. I'm just overwhelmed with the messages that I'm getting from today. I was hoping that I was going to count them, but it's a million and million of messages coming from everywhere, from places that I never thought that that I could be getting messages from. There are countries that I've been communicating with a view of saying I want to get there. I want to come to those particular countries and start doing some work. And God being good, we have already started the relationship with those countries, because the plan is that, God willing, next year I'm planning to walk. Next year I'm planning to take a walk, and I'm not talking about a 10-kilometer walk. I'm not talking about a 100-meter walk. I'm talking 600-kilometer walk. So I'm walking from Soweto to Durban. So if you are interested, make sure that you get in touch with the Global Talk team. Make sure that you write on our comment line there. Make sure that you tell us your story, where you're coming from, and what would be your participation as well during the walk. So we'll be walking from June until July. So we'll be starting from the 16th of June. So we'll be having other countries that I'm communicating with. I'm busy getting the love and admiration from other countries: Zambia, Uganda, Rwanda, Namibia, Tanzania, Mozambique, Kenya, Zimbabwe, and Botswana. Those are the 9 countries that I've adopted. And we have children from all over those countries who are writing messages, sending lovely faces and so forth, telling me how much do they appreciate me and so forth. I wish I could do more. I wish I could do more than just sitting here and giving you stories and talking. But I believe that, God willing, one day I will be able to do more than what I'm doing today. I'll be able to speak to nations. I'll be able to change lives and so forth. For as long as I have the support that I'm getting from you, the love that I'm getting from you, it is unbelievable, the messages that I'm getting throughout the world. Pindile Kumalo, I could count them. Tumi Mulau, Nomaswazi, they are also logged in as well from everywhere around the country. Sharon Matlaba as well, saying hi. Bishop, I love your voice. Thanks once again. DJ Tali as well is also sending messages as well. Mzolungile Langa. Oh, yes. Mzolungile. Hey, Sizulu. Mzolungile. Angithi manje ngicabanga isitswana, and I want to read Zulu as well at the same time. Kalela Mchali is also saying hi as well. People are greeting from all over. Mpumi as well. Thanks to baby girl. Lucinda Kunene. Khotso. Mautlani is my family. Thanks very much, Fifi. Our PA here, she's also passing the greetings as well. Messages are coming thick and fast. Thank you for all your birthday wishes. I wish God could make a miracle, could grant you things that you have never thought that could be granted to you. Kumete Omuhle and Chantlo, thanks very much. Sharon Sinjengo, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Thanks very much. Ntombi Kumalo, oh Mtongo Mohle. I have a thing for the Kumalo girls. I love the Kumalo girls. I love Kumalo girls. I know that another one is just smiling here and I'm not mentioning her, but I love Kumalo girls. Mapi, thanks very much, my love. Precious, that is my manager. She's also passing the birthday wishes as well. So just make sure that, remember that you tell a friend. For all those that went to YouTube, and make sure that you subscribe. You will be getting a copy of my latest book, Yearning for Tomorrow. I will be sending it before the end of the day. You will be getting a copy of my book. So put a smile on your face and make sure that you enjoy this channel. You enjoy everything that we do. It's been great being with you. We just hope that one day, probably tomorrow, if we are able to get hold of Vusi, I would love to talk to him, and so that he tells us his story, and he tells us so I couldn't make it We have a team's presentation at work. It has a short notice. Okay, probably will do it tomorrow. But I will keep in touch. But I would love to intrigue this guy and talk to him about his accident, his suicide, his partner, how his life out, and what are the things that changed him as well. But from me, from Bishop Q, I'd like to thank you all for the love, for the care that you did for me. And let us continue working and looking after our children. This is Bishop Q from Global Talk. Make sure that you continue streaming, following us, sharing our videos, continue tagging us and writing on the comment card, telling us anything that you want us to talk about. Relationships, into zobunyanga, you want to ask about God, the relationship, how does uhlangana kanjani namadlozi. Let's talk about relationships. This is your favorite talk show. I hope that tomorrow, if not Wednesday, I will be feeling much better and my voice will be back to normal, because I'm busy seeing people acknowledging my voice as if it's something great. My voice sounds very terrible. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Keep on smiling and make sure that you have a lovely day. From me, Bishop Q, Gintanda Nonke, keep on